Hi, everybody. In science this year, we are trying to explore life in the universe. And we're asking the question, where in the universe can scientists find life? And where in the universe would scientists search for life? So, in order to search for life, we need to know what kind of places might have life. And in order to find out what kind of places might have life, we need to know what life needs. What do living things need to survive? We thought about different ways to test and experiment to know for sure what do living things need. We had some ideas like, let's not give our teacher food or water for a year or two and see if he survives. We thought about doing experiments on our pet snake. What happens if we take the water bowl away from the snake for the rest of the school year? That will tell us whether or not the snake needs water, but it might risk the snake's life, and that's not something we want to do. So we decided, rather than trying to do an experiment where a living thing might die, we're going to do an experiment where a potential living thing might grow. And that potential living thing is a seed. For this experiment, you will need a total of between 8 and 12 seeds. You will need 5 cups, and you will need 4 peat pellets, otherwise known as little hockey pucks. This is what they look like when they're dry, and this is what they look like after they've been soaking in a cup for about a half an hour or maybe an hour. Let's take a look at how we're going to set up our experiment. For this experiment, you'll have 5 pots or cups. Our first one, we're going to call it our everything pot. Our second is our no sun pot. Our third is our no water pot. Our fourth is our no soil pot. And our last one is our no seeds pot. Our everything pot is going to get everything that we think seeds will need to grow. It will get some sun, some seeds, some water, and some soil. Our second pot will get everything except water. Our third pot will get everything except sunlight. Our fourth pot will get everything except soil. And our last pot is going to get everything except seeds. Now that we know what each pot is going to look like, let's take a look at the real pots. Let's start our experiment by looking at pot number 1. Pot number 1 was the everything pot. Soil, water. When you add the water, add enough water so the peat pellet gets really big, and it might take a half an hour or an hour for it to expand enough. And then you're going to need 2 or 3 seeds. You just need to have the same amount in each, and you need to have at least 2 seeds in each. So I'm going to put 1, 2. And there's my everything pot. My everything pot needs to get lots and lots of sunlight, so I'm going to put it in a sunny place. My second pot is going to be my no sun pot. The no sun pot is going to have everything that the everything pot had, except it's not going to go in a sunny place. Soil, water, seeds. It now has everything it needs, and everything is exactly the same as my everything pot, but this one's going to go in a closet or a drawer. Pot number 3 is going to be my no soil pot. My no soil pot gets water, but instead of getting soil, it's going to get a whole bunch of wet paper towels. And notice I fill them up to the top. My everything pot, my no soil pot. Now we're going to do our no water pot. The no water pot gets a dry peat pellet. Do not get this one wet. It needs to be very, very dry. If you accidentally get it wet, put it in the microwave for a few minutes so it totally dries out. And if you squeeze it, you can really make it flatten and get it to dry out. So this is for my no water pot. my no water pot. And last but not least, I have my no seeds. All 4 of these pots will go in the same place, a nice sunny window or underneath a bright light, and my no sun will go in a dark place like a closet. So now your experiment is ready to begin. The only thing left to do is to take a photograph. Take one photograph of the 4 pots that are going into the sunny area, and take another photograph of the 1 pot that's going into the drawer. Take those photographs in the place where you're going to leave your plants. A couple of final notes: if you find that your pots are soaking wet tomorrow after they've been sitting for an hour, that's a chance to dump out some of the extra water. Make sure you still have your seeds in there when you do that. But you can get rid of the extra water tomorrow. You'll be surprised at how big these peat pellets can get, and they will get really, really big. So leave the water in there overnight, and then you can dump out some tomorrow if there's too much extra water. Keep checking. As long as the peat pellet is moist, not dried out, but not soaking wet, it will be good conditions for your seed to try to grow. And now you're ready to begin.